So can you first introduce yourself to the Journey readers and also to the family students?
Yes, my name is Terence Calloway. I'm the Assistant Vice President of Parking and Safety / Chief of Police here at Florida A&M University.
Okay, fantastic. And I think I just want to start off by asking you your feelings toward police brutality or your opinions on police brutality.
Well, that is a very difficult question for me to answer, simply because we've had isolated incidents of Caucasian officers shooting or choking African American men, and that doesn't constitute to police brutality. The last actual police brutality case in which I've seen is the Rodney King case, where you had a plethora of officers just beating an unarmed man while he was down. That to me relates to police brutality. Those isolated incidents where these officers shot, choked, or whatever they did to these young African men, to me that's a lack of training, a lack of morale, and a lack of ethical issues within their organization.
I understand. So how do you define police brutality?
I don't know if there's a clear-cut definition of police brutality. I mean, because some people can use it as a person, using their power for good or for bad, I should say. So if you take an officer who pulls up on the scene and takes money or drugs from a young person, to them, in their minds, that's police brutality. But to me, I equate brutality as some physical brute force that officers have to use against people. Like in the 60s when they had the civil rights movement, where they hit African American men and women marching for civil rights, hit them with sticks and sick dogs on them and sprayed them with water. To me, that's brutality.
So, did you see the video of Sandra Bland over the summer?
Is that the young lady from Texas?
Yes, and she had just moved to Texas, and there was an altercation between her and the officer where the officer said, "Put out your cigarette," and she knew her rights, and she said, I don't have to because I'm in my car. So to an instance like that, how would you define that? Or is that not police brutality? Or?
Well, he didn't beat her. I think what he did was threaten her with, if you don't put your cigarette out, I'm going to tase you and light your ASS up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't equate that as being police brutality. That's abuse of police power, but I don't feel that that's brutality.
So you're saying that there's a distinct difference between the, so what do you call the taking advantage of the power, and then how do we as citizens kind of combat people in the force that that abuse their power? How do we combat that?
Well, first and foremost, I think where we mess up at often, one, we don't know our rights. We listen to some made-up person who believes that they are an attorney who tells you something. I mean, the street committees will give you, I would do this or I would do it. First of all, know your rights. Know what constitutionally you can and cannot do. Once you do that, you have a better chance of dealing with the situation. Second of all, you can't play judge and jury on the street. Do not try to chastise the officer or tell the officer you need to be doing this. That's not your role. One, what you do is you get the officer's name. Two, you get the officer's badge number. You get the officer's vehicle number, and then you file a formal complaint. You go immediately to the station. You ask to speak to the supervisor in charge. If you don't get any results from there, then you go to the next level, all the way up to and including the council meeting where you meet with the mayor, the city manager, and the police chief. When there's a complaint lodged against one of the officers here at Florida A&M University, I personally write the complainant to say, I've received your complaint. I will be back in touch with you in so many days after I've finished the investigation. That lets them know that I'm taking this serious. And I think that's, as citizens, we need to learn that. And the other thing I think messes us up is pride. Like, we so often, someone to say something to us, and instead of us just kind of taking the back seat and handling it through the legal way, we want to lash out and tell them what we feel. All that does is enrage this officer who's already has this power to abuse it now. Now, when you fuss back at them, they take you to jail for disorderly conduct. So now you're in the penal system, and it's hard to get out of it. So sometimes, one, we got to know our rights. Two, don't play judge and jury on the street. Three, file a formal complaint, and know what you're capable of doing.
Okay. So what are some of the rights that you think that we should know? Like, can you outline them plainly right now?
I don't know if I can outline them plainly. I can, like, first and foremost, you have a freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, and then in a sense you don't. You can say certain things because, you know, you have a right to speak your mind. But you have to be respectful in what you say. Because when it's just you and that officer, you're not going to win that battle.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is know your Fourth Amendment rights. You know, you have a right to feel secure in your home, to feel secure in your car. Unlawful searches and seizures of your home, your property. I was just talking to a student in one of my classes, and they were telling me that the police came to their door, busted in their house, no search warrant, went through their drawers, and found some stuff that they shouldn't have had in there. Now, I'm not saying what they was doing was right, but what I'm saying is, police can't come in your house and search your home without a search warrant.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know that as a citizen, you feel scared, and you're going to allow them to search. So know your rights.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think I'm done with questions. I think everything is good. So thank you for letting me interview you.
The pleasure's all. I would like to say that the FAMU Police Department, the men and women that work here, have done an outstanding job in the 2 years that I've been here. We've raised our numbers in terms of training. We've established more rapport and credibility with our students, faculty, and staff. So I want to thank the officers for the job that they do, but I want to thank you all as students for embracing us and trusting us with your safety.
Thank you.
Thank you.